before you do anything, you need to know the order of operation, right? You need to know the order of operation, which will be what? You need to know the order of operation. You first of all deal with the parentheses, deal with exponents, then division, multiplication, addition, and then subtraction. All right. So let's look at the first question. A nurse administers IV fluids at a constant rate after adding 150 milliliters. The total volume delivered is 450 milliliters over 3 hours. Set up the equation and find the hourly rate. All right. So we can just let the hourly rates be what? Anything, right? We can let it be X or A. Let the hourly rate be A, right? So they did this over 3 hours. So we are going to have 3A plus. You notice that we added what? 150 milliliters before the total volume was what? 450. So they added 150 milliliters and the total volume delivered was 450 milliliters. So you see that this is a linear equation and it is solvable. In this case, this is multi-step because we are dealing with multiplication and addition in the same equation, right? So we first of all eliminate the term that doesn't have x, which if you notice the term, this term doesn't have x, so we have to eliminate that term, right? You have to eliminate that term. So by subtracting 150 milliliters from both sides. So when you do that, 3A is going to be equal to 450 milliliters minus 150 milliliters. So we are going to have 300 ml, right? So in this case, we are dealing with multiplication. The opposite of this, the inverse of this operation will be division. So we divide both sides by 3. So A will be equal to 100 milliliters per hour, right? So that is what it is. All right. Question 2. A supply room orders 4 identical boxes of gloves plus 12 extra gloves, totaling 92 gloves. Set up and solve. Find the number of gloves in each box, right? This will really be easy. Let the number of gloves in one box be B. So that we have we will set up the equation. So we have 4 identical boxes. So 4B plus 12 extra gloves is giving us what? 92 gloves. Right? Gives us 92 gloves. So we need to subtract what? Both sides by 12 gloves. And we have that 4B is equal to 92 minus 12 will give us 80. And we divide both sides by 4. B is equal to 20 gloves. So the number of gloves in one box is 20. Question 3. Solve for x the equation. 3x plus 7 is equal to 28. We notice that x 7 there is the term independent of x. So we have to eliminate 7. So minus 7 on both sides of the equation. So we are left with 3x is equal to 21. And we divide both sides by 3. This implies that x will be equal to 7. All right. So let's look at question 4. Solve for x. So this is actually in latex, right? This is latex command. So this is x over 4 minus 2 is equal to 6. So we have to solve for x in this equation. So we notice that the term independent of x is -2. So we have to add 2 on both sides of the equation. And we are left with x over 4 is equal to 8. So let me bring it over here. X over 4 equal to 8. So that we multiply both sides by 4. Because, the opposite of division is multiplication. And we're left with x is equal to 32. So you see that in this case, the answer is B. Question 3, the answer was B2. B. Yeah. Okay. Now let's look at this one. Question 5. Solve for x the equation that. So in this case, we need to first of all deal with the brackets, right? So multiplication law say this is distributive law. It states that when you want to multiply, when you want to expand bracket, use what is outside to multiply all what is inside the bracket. So we multiply like that and like that, right? So what we have 2 times x plus 2 times 5 is equal to 22. So we really have what? We have 2x plus 10 is equal to 2. So we subtract 10 from both sides of the equation, and we are left with 2x is equal to 12. So we divide both sides by 2, which is the inverse of the multiplication. Therefore means x is equal to 6. And the answer is A, right? Now let's look at question 6. A patient received 4 identical doses of medication plus an additional 12 milligram, totaling 60 milligram. Which equation represents this situation? So in this case, we let one dose be x because they have used the variable x in the equation. So it therefore means that 4 doses, which is 4x, plus an extra 12 milligram will give us what? 60 milligram. So since all of these are, the units of all of these are in milligrams, so we will be left with 4x plus 12 is equal to 60. So you see that will be the equation, and you notice that the answer is A. Solve for x here and tell me what x represents, right? Solve for x here and tell me what x represents, and leave the answer in the comment section. And also solve for question 7 and 8. Leave the answer in the comment section. And please tell me what x represents in question 7. Thank you.